Welcome back. Once again, welcome back to Blockchain Fest 2023. So, for those of y'all whom are outside at the exhibition, would you like to come and join us as we have our first panel of discussion? It's about to begin. Wow, it's so quiet. There's not even a cricket sound, also, like literally quiet. All right, for those of you from outside the exhibition hall, if you can hear me, can come forward, come and join us. It's free seating. You can sit anywhere you want. There's no charges. And of course, we have our first panel of discussion is about to begin. And I'm talking to myself again. Yes! Hey, why y'all sitting in the back? Oh, you cannot come front, is it? Okay. How about you, miss? Would you like to come and sit in the front? No? I feel like one of those school days where everyone's going to sit in the back seat, don't want to sit in the front. Okay, so just give us some few minutes, maybe 1 minute. I'll see if anyone's coming to join us. If not, we're going to start with the panel discussion, okay? Once again, welcome. So today is our last day of the Blockchain Fest 2023. And my name is Sugan once again. So for those of you outside, you just come in and join us. Everyone's shy, I think. Okay. Without further ado, so let's welcome our first panel of discussion where we have the women in crypto. So we have all the ladies here. So let's start with welcoming our moderator, Myrtle N, who is the founder and CEO at BlockTides Place War. Please give a round of applause for everyone. And our panelists, Fang Ming Huan, co-founder at Web3 Women Union. Charu Sethi, Chief Marketing Officer at Unique Network. Come on, guys, clap hands. Yeah, that's right. Amy Lin, co-founder at Yuzu Venture Partner. And Serena Shukri, founding member at Women in Blockchain Asia, WIBA. We have photos at the back if you ladies would like to sit according to your pictures. All right, take it away.
All right, so guys, if you can hear me, if you're interested raising funds, by the way, those who's actually outside, you can go in and learn more about us. So of course, it's been a pleasure for me to moderate this panel for today. And of course, before we start, let's actually have a quick introduction of each and everyone. So let's start with you.
Testing. Okay. Thank you and for the invitation. So, hello everyone, and I'm Beryl from the Web3 Women Union, and I'm one of the founders of Web3 Women Union, and willing to know you guys here. So it's an honor for me to speak at such a great conference, and Web3 Women Union is currently the only all women community and an open and inclusive resource aggregation platform for all women in Web3, and we focusing on support women in Web3 to gain more growth and development. So we have already held several, over 15 online and offline activities with a wonderful performance, and also have delivered 4 sector research papers with good feedbacks. Tomorrow afternoon, we will also hold a women community meetup in Singapore. We have already invited over 20 attendees from different projects and institutions, which are the most famous projects in Web3. And Singapore is also our first step in building our overseas communities. So welcome all women in Web3 to join us in Web3 Women Union, a work home for all girls. Yeah.
All right, so Beryl said that they will have a community meetup tomorrow. So guys, For those who's available or residing here in Singapore, please do support, as well as we appreciate you forming that union when it comes to women. A lot of people don't know what's happening really in this space. We'll talk about that later. So thank you for the introduction. And let's go to Charu.
Hi, everyone. Really nice to be here, and thanks for organizing the panel. I am Charu. I head up marketing at Unique Network. We are the NFT infrastructure and NFT chain for Polkadot. I've been doing this for over 2 years, and before that, I was with IBM, focused on their blockchain marketing for Asia Pacific in 2016-17. So have been around in the blockchain space for a while in different capacities, working on different solutions. But it's really exciting to see the growth of women in this space. It has been a slow start. I think we're in the right direction, but we need to do more. So I'm glad we're talking about this today.
So it's like a powerhouse here when it comes to the capabilities and skills, right? Thank you so much, Charu, and let's go to Amy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amy. I'm from Yuzu Venture Partner. So what Yuzu does is we facilitate deal flows for Web3 projects between investors and the project itself. My background, funny thing is that I actually came from a design background. I was facing computers and working on 3D projects, and then I moved into business and Web2 IT consultancy, and then now I'm here. So I think the portfolio for these women are really impressive. I'm just here representing myself as a woman here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and that's a very powerful thing to do, right? So thank you so much, Amy, and let's go to Serena.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Serena Shukri. I'm based in KL. I wear many hats. So I was a former banker, CEO. I ran Malaysia Digital Economy at one point. Today I sit on several boards of publicly listed entities, but today I'm wearing the hat representing Women in Blockchain Asia. And what is that? So Women in Blockchain Asia was an idea that was conceptualized last year, and the idea was to bring in more women leaders to help them step up into the field. And so we do this through education. Last year, we ran, in partnership with Algorand and Reach, our inaugural blockchain development program, which is open to all, but primarily welcoming women. And so last year, we also had our first InterVarsity Hackathon, and we're proud to say that 50% of the participants were women. So our goal is actually to create an inclusive space to make sure that, to give courage to those that feel intimidated by the big word of blockchain and crypto and technology and all that. And because we feel that an inclusive world, this is an opportunity for us to actually build something like that now.
Thank you so much. And very powerful, different categories at the same time, different things that we're doing. And of course, just an introduction about myself. I am Myrtle Ramos, and I am the founder of Blocktides. We are a venture capital firm. At the same time, we raise $20 million for projects. At the same time, I'm also a GameFi CEO, and we raised $3 million, and our lead investor is basically Crypto.com Capital. So I am one of these powerful girls, and we can definitely help when it comes to the blockchain and crypto. But of course, let's start when it comes to the question, okay? So this question that I have is basically for, hold on, Serena. So I have a question for you. Can you share a time when you had to hold onto your conviction despite facing obstacles of naysayers? Of course, we all have that in our lives. And how that experience impacted and, of course, shaped your work or personal life.
Thank you. So naysayers, I think that there's naysayers everywhere. And so I'm going to share two stories. So first and foremost, I think we all, whether you're male or female, the biggest naysayer sometimes is often yourself. And so there's many instances in my career where we had, like, the biggest naysayers myself, and so overcoming that. But a more relevant story to share is basically our story with Women in Blockchain Asia. So last year, we set this mission of saying, of course, as builders in the space, we all agree there's not enough, there's never enough developers in the space. We could all use more technical talent in the space. And so we set out to actually help advance that cause. But in doing so, we said there's no reason why now wouldn't be a good time to actually welcome more women developers into the space too. Now, oftentimes we're always seeing, so there's a rush of more women into the space, but not as many on the technical side. And so last year we set out this mission to say, let's have this developer program. Let's partner with one of the best protocols and get the latest and greatest training, instruction. But let's set a condition as we partner up with these universities. Let's actually set the condition that half of the students must be female. And so, of course, when we set that goal, we were definitely believing that, yes, there's talent out there to actually fill up a class and make it like 50%. But there were many, many naysayers, including the universities that we partnered with themselves. But sure enough, once you create space and you welcome more people and have like an inclusive spirit, more people kept coming in, and we were very, very, very happy and excited to have participate over it was actually like 49% participation of female blockchain developers. And when we had the hackathon that we set the condition also that one person on the team has to be female, and even that the university was saying, oh, that we can't really, how can that be? I don't think that's going to happen. But sure enough, we did. So were we very worried in the beginning? Doubt, of course, yes. But there was this conviction just looking around because there is talent out there. And this is a space where the knowledge is so new, there's no reason why you can't learn the new knowledge, regardless of whoever you are, regardless of whatever background you are. And so luckily, if you ask, what was it that kept us through? Because 6 months of planning and program work, I mean, it was kind of nerve-wracking because nobody believed that was the case. But I think with the support of the other team members, and credit goes to our president, Ida Mock, who had full-on conviction that this is a possibility. We kept at it, and here we are now, and this year we're planning on repeating the same program, expanding it, and having an APAC InterVarsity Hackathon as well.
That's very powerful, and I completely agree when it comes to the naysayers, right? I told you earlier when we're actually in the coffee shop, right, about the naysayers of me actually dealing with an investor. So they're from Silicon Valley. I will not just tell who they are, but they actually told me, why you as the CEO of a GameFi tech company? You can just be the CMO. So it's totally pure discrimination. That hate, or I don't know, discrimination made myself actually make myself believe in what we're doing. I use it as a tool. So we successfully raised the funds at the same time. It's a very powerful testimony that it's really the power of believing. Yeah. Just like Ida Mock, right?
Exactly. And I love the saying, it's impossible until it's done.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Very powerful. So let's go to the next question. So I have the question for Beryl. So I'm going to do this randomly, okay? So there's a perfect timing for every spotlight for everyone. So for the question, in the rapidly evolving Web3 space, how can we ensure that women have equal opportunity and representation, especially considering the lack of diversity in the tech industry in general? So in your union, what initiatives or steps can be taken to address this issue?
Yeah, nice question. And I can't agree more about the Sarun's answer on like onboarding more and more women into Web3 space. Actually, we think like in traditional, the general situation is that in the traditional world, not including not only the tech industry, but also government and laws and a lot of other industries, women are not accurately represented in the executive or management or the board positions. So, but what we found that in Web3, there is a huge opportunity for women to become a like executive leader or a board member. So that's a huge opportunity for women here. And from the blockchain technology, we can see that if you want, no one could know your like privacy information because there is a active example is Satoshi. So if you don't want, then other ones will not know your like information, let alone your genders. That's a basement of women's equal opportunity in Web3. So we are willing all whoever that women interested in Web3 to entering this world full of opportunities. And when it comes to the women representation or women voice, actually, I have to say, what we know today has just scratched the bell surface. Since that large number of women builders have not been known by the public. For example, the unforgettable thing was happened when I was hosting our community meetup in Chengdu, a very beautiful city in China mainland. And actually, I met a very young woman entrepreneur who has already done several successful products and successfully raised over $20 million from both Chinese and global funds. So deep down, I respected for her contribution in Web3, but also regretted the deficiency of channels for Web3 women builders to speak out. So that's why we are doing, Web3 Women Union is doing our own podcast to provide a platform for Web3 women builders to speak out their voice and also building their personal brand, expand their influences in Web3. We think that through this channel, we can let people know more about what they are doing in Web3 and formulating an open knowledge about understanding about women's contribution and role model in the wave of Web3.
I completely agree, especially when it comes to the personal brand of each and everyone in the space. Because, you know, if you want someone to trust you, for me, it's really the first impression. So in order for you to do that, personal branding, by the way, is not easy. And you have to be consistent in doing that. At the same time, if you're really looking for funds, if you want the community to trust you, it all starts with yourself. And that's a great initiative that Web3 Union has in actually helping many women. Of course, it's inclusive for men as well, right? But of course, when it comes to personal branding, is really the best because I'm also pro personal branding. And it's the way how the world works. So thank you so much for the answers. So I'll go with Amy. So going back and forth. So of course, so the question here is very important. Since you said that you represent yourself as a woman, so this is basically the question. So considering the fact that women have been actively contributing to various fields since the Industrial Revolution, shouldn't we see ourselves as part of the human race rather than a separate category. So for example, the other groups or other foundations, so can we have like a consensus for that?
Well, I was contemplating this and I was just wondering why is there women in something. But so I've been speaking to different women and realized that there is a need because purely is that in any organization, there are different behaviors, there are different forms of position and power. So due to, I wouldn't like to generalize, but it could be the risk adverse nature, or even when I talk to people who are in the traditional business, they are also risk adverse and they do need a platform to do what they need to do to transit into something that is like revolutionary. So for this kind of platform, there are women that I spoke to, they do need a space where they can feel safe, whereby they know that, you know, as a woman, you do have certain, you know, I would say as a woman, there are different characters and there are different places or position in the organization. So with the platform involved and the fact is that we can learn how to position ourselves that is really of value to the world. So for example, like if let's say we are working on something that is administrative, for example, and very easily AI could take over. So we could position ourselves, which is perfectly in the blockchain, whereby it works hand in hand together with the technology for AI, for IoT. So all this technology does eliminate jobs. So actually, we, instead of having to think about the purely just women in something, we could think about how we can get the jobs and in general. So in this platform, what you're doing for technology, we are well positioned. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I completely agree when it comes to what you said, especially, but when it comes to AI, you know, I had a conversation with some of the partners that I have about it. So does it really replace the jobs of human beings? But for me, it's really, really up to the founder or project owner if how they'll use the AI.
Yeah.
And at the same time, when it comes to how AI is actually producing something, you can feel that it's actually not genuine in a way that there's a tone. Like, for example, in article writing, right? So in article writing, you can feel if it's really from the heart. And we humans can definitely know it's energy-wise, right? So we can feel that it's really genuine. Thank you so much for that points. Touching AI, that's a different topic, by the way. So thank you, Amy. And I have now a question for chat. So in the context of participatory economics in Web3, so now we're talking economics now, why is diversity, equity, and inclusion very crucial? And how can we ensure that women have an equal voice and opportunity in this new era of the digital economy?
Sure. So participatory economics, let's first understand what that term means. This is not, it has not come up now in the context of Web3. Participatory economics has been, this concept has been around for many, many years, decades, where the concept is that people and individuals and companies will find a way to exist, coexist, and collaborate with individuals and corporations fairly and in equitable ways, provided there are some rules that are set up that incentivize the right behavior and penalize any misactions. And that's something, when we look at Web3, that's the design point for Web3 as well. And the contribution, the participation in the economics of Web3 comes from various elements. Creation and protection or designing of protocols, skills, talent, intellectual capital, money, funds and investment, and community building. So that's what we see in Web3. For now, we've seen a lot of technical contributions, we've seen a lot of development contributions, money and funding. But what is really missing is participation. And this was a very interesting article written by Nitin Gaur, who is the head of digital assets for State Street Bank. This was published in Cointelegraph, and he explores how participation is missing. When you dig deeper into participation, there is an element of diversity and inclusion that should be factored in to capture all perspectives. But why do we need to focus on it? And the answer is not something that we need to look for now. I come from IBM, and till 2020 I was there, and this focus on diversity and inclusion and importance to business outcomes has been of peak importance in the corporate world since about 2015, 2016. As an example, in 2013, Qantas, one of the biggest airlines in the region, posted like record losses of $2.8 billion. And this was followed with high fuel costs, grounding of aircraft, and they were facing a lot of challenges. Fast forward to 2017, they totally turned around and posted $850 million in profit, 12% in operating margin, and received various accolades, industry accolades of being best airline, best employer, and so on. And when Alan Joyce, the CEO, was interviewed, he highlighted that this transformation is underpinned by how diverse and inclusive we are, and how diversity and inclusion helps with better strategy, better debates, better risk management approaches, better business ideas. And at that time, I think there was a Deloitte survey of 10,000 leaders, industry leaders, and 67% of them said that diversity and inclusion is important for their business outcomes or business strategy. So I feel in Web3, we are in that phase now where we are trying to address this challenge. However, we are all startups. We don't have dedicated resources like large HR companies or large companies with big HR teams have to create programs on inclusion. And so I think we are there, but it is on us, it is on the leaders in this space to encourage participation, to encourage not just women, just diversity in general, and bring more diverse perspectives into our meetings. And it's also not just about hiring talent, it's about bringing them into meetings where, I don't have a technical background, but I do participate in developer meetings, and that's something that our CEO has set up. I have direct interactions with developer relations, with the CTO, because I bring different perspectives from a business point of view which are beneficial for them. So I think we need to widen our approach to not just diversity, but inclusion as well, to make it work for businesses and projects. So.
I completely agree as well, because there are some management skills that women can actually provide when it comes to the companies, when it comes to the tech projects, because it's really organized, and we all know that, right? So that's just my side comment in any way. So the next question that I have, by the way, this is for everyone, that you can answer this if you want. So what are the specific challenges? Because there's a lot of people not really aware of the challenges that we're all having here in this space. So what are the challenges that women face when it comes to participating in such events, such communities, and at the same time, how can we identify and address those challenges for us maybe the man listening here, they have a sister or a daughter, they can definitely go ahead and take care of them, right? While we're sharing something like this. So, how can we encourage more women to participate in actually this exciting space? Let's start with Beryl.
So for this question, I think that that's what our duty for as a like women community organization. What we need to do, we need to connect all resources, especially like talking with the like organizers of many big events, and talking to them and let them know what like women talents we have in our community, and like provide more opportunities for them to talk and present in this big event. And through this way, more and more people can easily know them. Yes. And for the like another question, how to bring their more and more women into this Web3 space. Actually, we are trying to produce some courses, some workshops, which is very easy, but will involve the interaction steps into these courses. So through this simple course, like 7 days, you can know the frame structures of Web3, including which like 7 sectors like DeFi, GameFi, NFT, infrastructure. So we would like to promote these workshops and these courses to the most population in China, maybe as a try. So we would like to involve more and more, even women always like staying home, they can use our courses or take our workshops to easily know more about Web3, and also actually take some interaction like steps to join us. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that initiative and great move, by the way. Let's go to Chari.
So in terms of challenges, I think there's one challenge that I also face on a recurring basis. I think women, and I can say this about most of the women who I know, have a tendency to go in fully prepared. And they feel that if I'm not fully prepared, I cannot do this. But the whole Web3 space is such that every individual, from the freshers in the organization to the CEO, we are all learning. So it is just about getting comfortable with the idea of, okay, I know 5%, rest 95% I'll learn along the way, and let me just contribute with my skill set. As an example, my friend, she was on a break during Token 2049 last year, and I invited her to Singapore. I said, why don't you just come attend, just find out what's going on in this industry. She comes from deep background in hospitality, sales, and she was absolutely not comfortable with the idea of having a conversation around Web3. And I said, there's just loyalty is such a big thing in this space. Why don't you just talk about it and meet people? So day 1, she was very uncomfortable. Day 3 and day 4, her day was packed with meetings where people wanted to understand her perspectives from hospitality and from services point of view, those who were working in the metaverse space, trying to do loyalty programs and so on. So it was such an eye-opener for her and such a feel-good thing. She didn't pursue it really fully. But it's like, it is okay to not know and just jump in. That's what I would encourage every curious woman in this space. And we are seeing improvement. There was a BlockFi report that